What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chance's Speed Shop. So in today's episode, we're going to be doing a rear main seal on my 99 Chevy S10 225 speed. Now, fortunately and unfortunately, it's almost done. The only thing I need to take out is the transmission bolts, and that's it. So I'm going to show you all the hardware that had been taken off and the size sockets you need, any specialty tools. There's only one specialty tool you need, and go over some safety stuff because you always want to be safe, you know. All right, so let's get started. What you'll need to complete this whole job is a 15 millimeter, 13 millimeter, 10 millimeter, a 17 millimeter wrench and socket, and a ratchet. And this performance tool number is 583151. You can get this off of Amazon. This is to get your hydraulic clutch line off. This is also on your hydraulic clutch line. If you do not get this off, you won't get the line off. Make sure this doesn't go down the hole. Ask me how I know. And a magnet, you're gonna want that, and I'll show y'all why. So, first things first, you're gonna need a jack and jack stands. You are gonna have to take off the draft shaft. If you don't have 4 jacks, you need to get a wheel chock, so the truck doesn't roll back when this is off. The only thing holding that on are these 4 bolts right here that connect to the diff. And then once these are off, you're going to need to pry that end off, and this will be able to be pulled out of the transmission. And that's it. And then you'll need to take the exhaust off. You'll need to unbolt it from the downpipe to be able to drop this cross member. This is the driver's side. This is the passenger side. On the passenger side, the bolts right here go through the frame. Don't know why it's designed like that, but it is. One side is 13, the other side is a 15. So you'll need 2 different sockets and a hell of a lot of extensions, maybe a swivel to get it. Because I used a 13 millimeter swivel and a 15 millimeter socket, but to make it easier, you can use a wrench. So, I'll show you all down here. These holes right here, you can see right there, goes right through the frame. I think it's completely unnecessary to design that way, but hey, I ain't no engineer. So for the cross member itself, you have to take this off. These are 15s. That nut off, that attaches to the transmission. And like I said, these cross member bolts, and that's it for the cross member. And then these attach the transmission into the block. This is the driver's side. This is the passenger side. These are 13 millimeters. These right here are plates. They're held on by 10 millimeter bolts on the front end of the transmission. I went ahead and just took them off just because. And these are my exhaust hanger bolts, downpipe bolts. And you have to drain the transmission. Show y'all what you need for this. Nifty little tool right here. Size 17. Those right there are the starter bolts. I believe these are, those are 15s. Now, the starter isn't fully out, but I have it out of the way to where I have enough room. So, and then obviously you have to take off the exhaust. The first thing you need to do is just take off the exhaust. Take the whole thing off. You don't have to take it off all the way to the back, but you need unbolt it from the downpipe, take it off the hanger, move it out of the way. Then cross member, and then detach the starter, get these brackets off, drain the transmission, take the hydraulic clutch line off, and I'll show you all what else to disconnect down there. This right here is your hydraulic clutch line. You'll need to detach this. This goes up to your reservoir for your brake fluid for your clutch pedal. And then right over here is where you'll loosen that, kind of like that bolt thing with that 17 millimeter hex. And you can see the cross member is gone. These lines are attached to the cross member. You'll just need to pull those off. And that is your refill. That's where you take that bolt off to refill the transmission fluid. We'll get to that later when the transmission is back on. There's a couple of plugs up there you need to unplug, and then trying to get as much room in here as I can. On that bracket up there, there's a 7 or 8 millimeter bolt they need to take off. And that's it for this side. And then for this side, you need to do the same thing right over there. I'll point out my finger. Down there is a bracket with another 8 millimeter bolt. And then you need to unplug all the connections that plug into the transmission. And that's really it. And then the big next steps is to get the bolts off that's holding on the transmission and drop her down. Here's a perfect view on the driver's side of here where I'm at. Let's see if I focus. There's a bolt right there. This one's loosened, and there's one right there. So, see if I can, yeah. Here is the transmission. There's the driver's side. There's those 3 bolts right there.